Hey folks, it's Dustin DePirac coming to you again from the media room in the Coliseo de San Juan for one more time. And yet again, it's after an Indiana loss. They lose 69-66 to Mason today, thanks in large part to a banked three-pointer by Cam Long on Mason's last real possession of the game. Indiana had sort of a chance to tie, but Mason did the smart thing with 5.4 seconds left. Fouled Jeremiah Rivers to put him on the line, forced him to miss his second free throw on purpose. Indiana couldn't rebound that, and Mason ends up winning 69-66. So Indiana leaves Puerto Rico eighth out of eight teams, the only squad that comes down here and does not get at least one victory. So obviously, disappointing week for the Hoosiers. This game was, it had its upsides, but one of the things Tom Crean pointed out, a lot of missed layups, especially early. Indiana shot 29.4% in the first half, and a lot of those were very, very makeable shots that got the ball in the paint and missed a bunch. Crean said he counted about 13 or 14 missed layups. Part of that they owed to George Mason forward Mike Morrison, who was just dynamic inside, 6'9" guy, 225, and as Bobby Capobianco said, he couldn't touch the ceiling. He had a tournament record 7 blocks to go with 17 points and 13 rebounds. But back and forth the entire way because in large part Indiana couldn't take advantage early. Mason stuck with him, hit a couple big threes down the stretch. Luke Hancock hits one with about 1:33 left to put Mason up 3 and just give them some space the rest of the way. Indiana fought back, tied it, but then Long hits the 3 with 5.4 seconds I think left on the clock to put him up for good. So I guess a couple other positives. Bobby Capobianco finally, shows some idea of what he can do. Gets 7 points, 10 rebounds. What by far is his best outing. 17 minutes and played 25. I think up until this point, had committed 10 personal fouls in that time, so he wasn't getting a lot of playing time. But he's obviously a bright spot. Maurice Creek gets 15 points. Been solid as usual. Riddell Jones with 13. Christian Watford had a tough game. Still managed with 10 points and 8 rebounds, but was 3 for 13 from the field. So basically, Crean again came forward at the end of the game and said, look, this is where we are. We need a lot of patience. We need people to stay behind us. But we don't have the leadership. He said even Mason obviously was a young team. He says, but they still had guys that were teaching them the way at Mason, which is true. I mean, these guys learned under the kids that were on the Final Four team in 2006. Cam Long obviously played under Fowler and Campbell and Will Thomas for a year. Those were two guys that were on that Mason team. And a couple other impressive outings. Jordan Hall's had a nice game. Had been struggling before. He gets 8 points in 14 minutes. So there were some positives, but again, some more negatives. Tom Pritchard had a tough game, 14 minutes, no points, 1 rebound. They'd obviously like to get a lot more from him than they have. Tijon Job, 3 fouls in 5 minutes. So they're really trying to figure out what to do at that 5 spot now. Capobianco obviously has a shot after what he did today. Bobble Manero got in a little bit, but that's obviously a major hole because they just really don't have the overall size right now. They need one of those 5 men to step up and do something because they've obviously got to use Watford and Elston at the 4. They're dealing a little bit better with the with dealing with the kind of athletes, but then again they were obviously playing a mid-major team today, so they weren't playing the sort of guys they're going to see in the Big Ten. They see the sort of toughness, the sort of bulk, the sort of size they're going to see in the Big Ten. So they're still obviously very much figuring this thing out. One thing that's going to be an issue whenever they play a team with a shot blocker, especially if that team can go in and play zone, it's going to be a problem because they don't have a lot of three-point shooters right now, especially with Matt Roth out. Not even a lot of guys with a lot of mid-range. Riddell Jones obviously can hit that shot pretty regularly. Maurice Creek can hit it, but other than that, they're having some problems when they've got to rely on the dribble drive. If they've got to go up against a big guy with a big wingspan and a lot of leaping ability like Mike Morrison was today, they're going to have some issues. I think there'll be plenty of those in the Big Ten, so they're going to have to figure out how to do that exactly. So they go home from this pretty disappointing experience and got to get ready Northwestern State on Saturday. And then it gets really tough after that. They go to Maryland on December 1st at home. Then they play Pittsburgh in New York City at the Jimmy V Classic. Then come back and get Kentucky at home. which is not going to be an easy one, obviously, with that reloaded team. So they've got to figure out a lot in a hurry, and continue to deal with this youth. Tom Prince said, it's excruciating, but this is what we got to live through. We got to keep getting, we got to keep trying to get better, keep fighting, keep trying to establish